I remember when I walked into my manager's office, out of nowhere, right as I walked through the door, I ended up seeing my manager doing the devil's tango with one of my coworkers, and the craziest part was, I was literally doing the devil's tango with her yesterday. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to a super embarrassing but crazy story. Now, today's story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was actually my grade 12 year. I just graduated at this time, and I'm not gonna lie, I was already 18. And I will say this, in my grade 12 year, I had really no idea what I wanted to do in the future. Like, if someone went back in time and told me that I would become a creator that told crazy stories about me doing the devil's tango, I would not believe them whatsoever. But I remember in my grade 12 year, what I was doing specifically at this time was I had a job working at a restaurant. Now, I've mentioned this restaurant many times before in different stories, but this restaurant really had a lot of crazy things happen. And I know you guys are thinking it's normal for drama to happen in the workplace, but this amount of drama was over the top. Because I remember one day when I was entering into work, I remember the front of house, which is like, you know, the waitresses and the people that serve food and the bartenders, they were all like discussing something that was going on. And as they were all grouped together, I remember I decided to cut through them and say, hey, like, what's going on, you guys? Oh, wait, Bubba, you didn't hear? No, what happened? Oh, well, apparently like your kitchen manager is out on leave, and apparently there's gonna be a new manager coming in. A new manager? Yeah, apparently it's like some woman. We don't really know who it is, but apparently she's worked at a lot of different restaurants. Looking at her resume, so either she got fired a lot or she is one of the best restaurant managers ever. At that moment, I remember I looked at her resume and she looked like any ordinary manager, but the one thing that was really odd is that she worked at a ton, and I mean a lot of different restaurants, and I don't really know why. Going on though, I remember I was looking at her resume as I was walking into the kitchen getting ready and everything, and one of my coworkers looks at me and says, oh, did you hear the news? Yeah, bro, I did. Can you imagine we're getting a new restaurant manager for the back of house? Yeah, I don't really know, man, but I mean, hey, we'll be fine. I'm sure she won't bug us. And then as he went with his full-on uniform into the kitchen, I remember I ended up hearing a buzz on the back door, which only staff have access to and only can be opened if another staff member opens it from the inside. And right as I walk up to the door and open it, I ended up seeing a full-on hot, attractive woman with massive cherries look at me and say, oh, hi, you must be one of the workers here, right? Yeah, hi, I'm Bubba, nice to meet you. I ended up shaking her hand, and she had a really firm grip. Like, no joke, she had pretty strong hands. And I remember she walks into the kitchen saying, okay, well, I'm your new manager, and oh, I see you're holding my resume. Are they just handing that out now? Oh, no, sorry, I was just curious, my bad. Oh, okay, it's fine, silly, don't worry about it. Just go into the kitchen, I'll introduce myself to the team later on. I remember I ended up walking to the kitchen, working right beside my friend that I was talking to earlier, and he looks at me saying, yo, who'd you just let in? Bro, I really have no idea, but I'm not complaining, is what I told him. And well, at first I wasn't complaining, but let's just say where the story goes is a lot more intense. Because I remember halfway through that shift, I remember the manager ended up walking up to all of us and saying, okay, so everyone, hi, I'm your new manager, and basically for me to get to know you guys better for the next couple weeks, I was hoping that we could all schedule meetings in my office to just discuss and see what's going on. I remember we all looked at each other and we were really confused because we were just here to work. We weren't really here for a workshop. But then right after, she ended up handing us all out a clipping board, and we all wrote our names and certain times that we were supposed to meet up with the manager. I remember me, I didn't really want to do it, but to be fair, it was a work requirement. And I remember as I was looking through the list of people and the different dates, I noticed that there was no time slot for me to actually go see her because all the days that were available were days that I weren't on shift. So I remember I just decided to not say anything and just gave the clipping board to the next person. And let's just say I ended up regretting that badly, because I remember as the next couple days went by, one by one, all my coworkers in the back of house in the kitchen would go and see my manager. But one thing I noticed was that every time a person would come out, their hair would be messy, they would be smiling for no reason, they would be giggling, and they would keep to themselves. And as it went on, I remember from 8 coworkers in the kitchen I had, we went from all communicating with each other, being a team and being good, to all of us keeping to ourselves and being quiet. And every time the manager would walk by, everyone, and I mean every single person that worked with me would just stare at her. I never really understood what was going on. But then I remember as like 2 weeks went by, I remember no one in the kitchen would speak to each other. It was getting to the point where I didn't even want to work there. And right as I basically ended my shift and was ready to leave, I remember I walked up to my locker and started getting changed. And right as I was getting changed, my manager walks up to me and says, Bubba, you're the one person I haven't spoken to yet. Did you even put your name down? No, to be honest, I've been like super busy, my bad. And also earlier when I got it, like I couldn't find a time where I was working and it was just a whole thing. Okay, well, if you want, I can come see you now. Yeah, I can see you now if you want. I remember me and her, we ended up going into her office. And when we got in there, I remember she just kept basically staring at me. And she sat me down asking, so what do you enjoy about the workplace? I don't know. I just like making money and working here, I guess. Oh, okay. So you're in it for the money. Well, no, I also enjoy meeting people. Okay, so do you enjoy meeting me? At that moment, I was really confused because she was coming off really flirty. But then one thing led to another. I remember she made me stand up and, well, I guess you guys know where this is going because she basically leaned up her whole body against me and we did the Devil's Tango. Literally at the restaurant in the back of the workplace. I was seriously mind blown when this happened and honestly, I didn't understand it. But right after we did the Devil's Tango, she ended up having the balls to say to me, oh, like, I think we really formed a connection. We can work really well together. Yeah, I guess we did. I remember after that, I ended up leaving the office. And as I was leaving through the door, I was buckling up my pants until one of my coworkers looked at me walking out and said, wait, bro, why are you buckling your pants? And I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to tell him I just did the Devil's Tango. So what I ended up saying was, oh, nothing. I just realized it was undue. I was just getting ready to leave. And I just walked right past him. Now, at first, this was, you know, something I thought I was special for doing with the manager. I thought she only did it with me, and that was it. But that day when I got home, I won't lie to you, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Something was just bothering me. And I guess it was just bothering me that I just did it with my manager. Like, it just really was getting into my head. And it got to the point where I decided the next day I would walk up to my manager and discuss what the hell just happened. Because me doing the Devil's Tango with my manager was nothing new. But the way she came off was so random. As if she's done it so many times before. So I remember the next day, I ended up basically going into the workplace and I decided as I was getting ready for my shift, I would quickly stop by and see the manager. And as I walk up to the manager's door, I realized it was closed. So I decided to knock on it, but no one answered. I could clearly hear my manager in there, probably doing like an exercise of some sort. But right as I opened the door, I ended up seeing someone from the morning crew that does the prep in the kitchen was doing the Devil's Tango with my manager. At that moment, I ended up seeing this and I'm like, bro, there's no way. And my manager ends up grabbing me by my hand, pulling me in and saying, okay, Bubba, you can't say anything. You understand? I mean, like, what are you guys doing? I remember at that moment, the guy that was there was just silent and me, I was so confused on what was going on. And I really wasn't happy about this because this is like a huge deal. And then that's when I realized she ended up pulling me outside and we ended up standing outside talking about it saying, Bubba, you gotta understand, like, I'm just a really active person and I like to get close to my workers. That's all. By doing the Devil's Tango. Yeah, it's like doing the entire football team. At that moment, I was so grossed out and I literally ended up calling my head manager that used to be there before he left and he ended up sorting things out luckily. But all I'm gonna say is that woman was naturally disgusting. And if you guys agree, then just follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys.